I just took my first ride on the V9. The first impressions, it's really smooth. It doesn't feel like I want for the speed. It's just so responsive. And the suspension seems a really big improvement on what they did with the V11. Honestly, I didn't know how that was gonna go, going down those stairs. I wouldn't do it all the time, but it wasn't horrible. The speakers were completely audible the entire time that I was riding. And I was able to hear them absolutely amazing. It was good. Everything that I went over felt completely comfortable. It does feel like I'm kind of floating on a cloud. It's nice. It's real nice. I'm looking forward to riding it some more. It looks like there's a 27-mile-an-hour like tilt back setting in the app. I didn't feel like going much more than 15, 17 miles an hour, so we'll see if my comfort level goes up as I have the wheel, or if that's just kind of where the wheel seems like it wants to cruise. We'll see.
What do you think of like, look at that sweet little thing right there.
Bring it neck, Lord.
What's up? That's the new baby there.
Ooh, she's slick. May I?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like...
Does she get hot?
Nah, this one doesn't. This is not a performance wheel. This is more of a luxury commuter. Like, see how easily that moves around.
Wow.
See how like kind of like effortlessly responsive it is.
So how do you turn? You just like...
Pitch side to side. So like
It's kind of like riding a horse, how you, with a horse.
yeah, you'll turn your hips,
Yeah.
and that'll make it turn. But like so on the wheels, you can either like turn your hips, and that's gonna kind of make you vertically rotate, or you can pitch, and that's gonna make.
I absolutely could not believe how many people were enamored by the way that this wheel looks. Out of all of the wheels that I ride in and out of that shop, not one has gotten so much attention as the V9. And that baffles me.
Right now I'm heading over to the dispensary, and I'm gonna be honest, out of all of the wheels that I have right now at my disposal, I am going to default over here to the V9. A lot of times with the charging ports on wheels, it's kind of like, you wonder what they're trying to protect, if they're trying to protect anything, but this is very clear and purposeful. You see, you got the USB-C, you got the USB, and then this guy right here, which is...
The V9 feels comfortable at any distance for short jaunts or even a semi-long commute. I mean, as far as the battery will go. It's just comfortable by virtue of the fact that it's super easy to get going. It doesn't take a whole lot to lean forward, make it go, lean backwards, make it stop. And honestly, the profile of the wheel, it doesn't feel super duper wide between your legs. It's actually something that you could even sit down on, which is kind of crazy. But because it's so easy to move, you really don't get the leg fatigue. The motor doesn't get hot, and neither does the body.
Yeah, man, it's amazing. So, like I said, for the last mile, for the short range things, this is always going to be the better choice. Something like this that you don't have to be fully kitted up like freaking Iron Man to ride. You know, it's a lot more convenient, a lot easier to make it happen. So, you know, you got that one hand free the whole time. And yeah, it's nice, it's convenient. And I think that if you're inside of a lifestyle with electric unicycles, if that's part of your lifestyle, like you're not driving cars, if you're not driving cars and this is just how you get around, at a certain point in time, convenience has to weigh into how you feel about things. It's not always going to be about being able to go incredibly fast, ridiculously fast, like every single time. At a certain point, you're going to be really in the market for
Just a little bit about the build quality. You'll notice it is a plastic wheel. I am all for it. It doesn't cost a whole lot of money to replace the side panel of this wheel. It costs a whopping $32. That's it. You heard right. So you crash, you make this outside crumple, bend, bang, boom, whatever it is you end up doing to the outside of it, you can simply replace the outside for $32. That's amazing. It does have an IP67 rating, so this thing is waterproof, seriously waterproof. And it also has this UL rating, which, just look it up. It's apparently some kind of fire rating, but it makes it safer. That's what I know. There's no creaking in the pedals, pads, or trolley, but if you take this thing off-road and start riding on a trail, you're gonna notice that it does rattle a little bit. It kind of goes I don't think that it's meant to be ripping off-road, okay? But that never stopped me from trying, I'll tell you what. So I decided to see, I wanted to test to see if this thing was gonna be waterproof. I wanted to ride it through the creek down here.
We're gonna go hang out with the birds. This is a slight incline, and it's got no problem with the brakes here. I'm gonna see how this works if we go across. Oh!
Careful.
Oh crap! That's slick, buddy. You just saw it here first, guys. So that's not gonna work. Oof. Oh man, what was I thinking? Holy silt, Batman. Wow. Holy silt, Batman. Look at that. Ew, I'm gonna have to clean this off now. I'm super sad about that. So that's what that looks like. That's why it makes great fertilizer, guys.
They say the top speed is 28 mile per hour. I got it up to like 27.6. The tire is a tubeless tire. This is the only tire that can fit on it unless they come up with another smaller type tire, so no knobby tires at all. It does have a brake light as well as turn signals. My turn signal of one of them didn't work. The 37 miles of advertised range seems really, really likely, to be honest, guys. This thing kind of just goes on forever if you don't start hauling ass on it. And you can use a fast charger on it, so you can get it down to 1 hour of charging with a 10 amp charger. However, if you use the stock 2, then you're going to get a 5-hour charging time. Using Samsung 50 GB batteries, 750 watt hours of capacity, 265 pounds of load. I'm pretty sure it'll take like 300 pounds, to be honest. It's rated for 1,000 watts of power, max power at 2,000, 90 newton meters of torque. I guess it only weighs 50.7 pounds. I thought it was 54 pounds. Oops. The 60 millimeters of suspension, dope. It works really well. It actually feels a lot better than the Inmotion V11 did, which, I mean, I know that's not saying a lot because it's from the first gen, but they really did refine this air suspension, and I really am quite impressed. And let's face it, you're not buying this wheel for the insane torque or for the ridiculous top speed, any of that stuff. You're buying this wheel because you want to have fun. You're buying this wheel because you want to connect with friends. You're buying this wheel because you want to get outside. And for doing all of that stuff, it absolutely excels. The Inmotion V9 is completely content just being the Inmotion V9. From its style to its performance ratings and its torque delivered, it doesn't try to sell you anything more than what it can actually deliver, and it honestly delivers a little bit more than what it tries to sell you. This is an awesome wheel for beginners. It's an awesome wheel for intermediate users who really want an updated and refreshed approach to the underserviced intermediate to beginner class and category. It's always been underserviced, and it always gets kind of the junk mail of the EUCs. And now we're seeing a little bit of love given to that area, that niche, and I can't wait to see what else we get. Like right here, I ended up catching a nice vibe, jamming to the music. I mean, it presents a different way of approaching the whole ride thing, guys. You know, not just trying to rip, zip, and rock and roll, but rather kind of taking your time and vibing.
Yeah, this is V9, brother.
Has a speaker on it?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude, this thing weighs about 54 pounds.
Oh my.
I mean, like,
How much
just
range?
this one will get about 30 miles, about 30 miles of range.
Anything up front, right?
Oh, I mean, well, this one, I wouldn't say this is like the off-road
Like compared to that.
This is, oh God, yeah. I mean, like, this is like a luxury commuter. But like the rest of the wheels that I have, they really need some kind of like pad setup in order to like get the most out of them. But this one, it just feels so like the fine motor like control on it. It's just nuts. So it's like
riding a hoverboard that you could tilt.
it's like it's totally a hoverboard that you can tilt with, bro. I mean, you can just it's just. Sorry, I'll get out of your way here. My apologies.
Is that a game skip of some sort?
No. This is it's a 360 camera.
Oh.
Yeah, it's it's just so I can. It's like if I fall or something.
For me, even at 10 miles or so, the V9 still is viable in town. At 20, 22 miles per hour, the wheel is super duper comfy and it gets you right where you need to go, no problem. Now, it is not made for doing big jumps, big drops, ripping trails super duper hard. It is not for any of that. That's one of the reasons why I've kind of leaned away from showing it in those use cases. But if you want to see some of that stuff, stick around to the end of the video because I do have a little skate park style video cut from another one of my videos that I put together to try to just showcase some of the cool stuff that it can do. And you'll see I get zero volatile reactions when I'm on this thing. I swear everybody thinks that I'm Frozone, you know, from The Incredibles. I swear that's what everybody thinks. But, you know, it's the least threatening thing in the world. And that's another thing I guess that you could talk about is the fact that this thing doesn't feel militant. Zero threatening to any of the commuters. Literally, this sort of thing just inspires awe and gets people enthusiastic and excited to see electric unicycles more often. The trolley is super comfy, super functional, and it comes from the pedigree of the V10, one of the finest, absolute finest trolley handles in the game ever.
So I guess it's about time that we get down to this formal assessment of this wonderful piece of kit. Inmotion V9. Now, I've been riding this thing for a little over a month, and what I can tell you is this. The quality, the attention to detail, the fun factor, the form factor, really everything about this wheel is amazing. And it's more, I think, about what this wheel doesn't say or doesn't try to do that genuinely makes it a little bit more of a step above. Because the Inmotion V9, it doesn't posture itself as a performance beast. No. This thing doesn't posture itself in any sort of aggressive trail riding way. The Inmotion V9 is meant to add luxury to an underserved market. So, let's go ahead and on this ride home to assess and think about the Inmotion V9. All right, battery concerns. I have some battery concerns, but we're still gonna try it.
I'd like to send a big old thank you out to Inmotion for sending this wheel over for me to demo, test, play with, show you guys. I was actually really excited about it. I said it over and over again on the channel, and it's not because of all of the performance that it promised. I mean, frankly, guys, there's tons and tons of performance options out there. I mean, you have the T4, that's a great wheel. You've got the Falcon, which is cool. You've got the Arrow, which is cool. And you got the Rocket, which is cool. And all of those guys are shooting bottle rockets and darts at the highest marks on the bulletin board. You know, the V9's just sitting in the back of class. Like, I'm doing my own thing. The V9 is legitimately just a successor to the entry commuter market that Inmotion has already serviced and has serviced pretty well for a while. If you're familiar with the V8 or you're familiar with the V10 in any of their iterations, this wheel is going to seem familiar to you. Except it has just a little bit more progress, a little bit more features, a little bit more range, a little bit more speed, but it doesn't try to outpace the category that made it so popular to begin with. I guess this is the extreme riding portion of the video, if there is such a thing on the Inmotion V9. And I guess depending on who you are, this will be to varying degrees of extreme. Now, the first segment that you're witnessing here is going over a trail kind of back entrance into UF, that's University of Florida. And the suspension is getting beat up all over these roots. And while it felt a little bit smooth, it felt smoother than no suspension at all, I could definitely tell that the V9 was not designed for aggressive trail use. So right here where we're coasting over gravel, over sand, all that stuff is fine and dandy. But once I was going over the roots, the choppy, hard parts, it really did feel like too much of that would be a burden on the V9. And I'm sure it would tolerate it to some degree over a period of time, but I really want to allow, for me at least, for the V9 to shine where it was designed. So I ended up eventually taking these pads off and, you know, kind of resigning myself to letting the V9 just be the commuter that it is. In terms of balance, front to back, this was absolutely easy peasy. I didn't expect the water bottle right there, but the V9 certainly gives you a lot of fast twitch control. It feels very responsive to every single whim that you make. So while this seems like it was a challenge, and certainly it looks cool and it wasn't an easy thing, it wasn't something that I had to do over and over and over. And so I really feel like that wasn't a hard thing for the V9. Right there, you'll see when I landed, the V9 torqued forward just a little bit. So, you know, jumping up onto things and jumping down from things, you're gonna get the V9 to sponge, you're gonna get it to kind of torque out. And again, it can do it, but I don't think this is really where it's at home. It was a whole lot of fun doing it. I'm sure you can totally do this, but at the end of the day, the V9 just wants to have fun, man. It just wants to roll, take you to work, take you to school, you know, take you to your favorite restaurant, take you to hang out with your buds. Solid 8 out of 10 for me. We really could have used a seat. That's my only thing. I really wish that they would have made a seat with this wheel, and maybe some foam up by the upper shin area. Outside of that, man, it's a solid 8 out of 10 wheel. You know, give the people a 4-amp charger with it. But other than that, man, yeah, solid 8 out of 10. At the end of the day, it didn't promise anything that it didn't deliver, and it honestly surpassed my expectations in a lot of places. And till next time, guys, it's been your boy Johnny. Ride safe, ride strong, and we'll catch up soon.
Peace.